Yo. How you living? How you feeling? How you doing? First choice fantasy. We back. We got Alex in the sleeveless shirt. We got Brandon with the glasses on. We got Ed with the yellow shirt and the pink rose gold headphones on. We're living. What's cracking today, boys?
Cracking a lot of crack going on today. Going through our flagpole players. We're sliding over that, Alex.
We should, yeah. Explain a flagpole, Alex.
Well, you see, there it is.
That's it. That's the action right there.
Really, when you put the flagpole in, it's meant to stay in there.
And
Marking our territory.
Long through injury, through anything. This is us declaring our
until
love
week one, where they fumble
fantasy
twice and have negative 1 point, and then you trade them.
Yeah.
Angrily trade them for pennies on the dollar.
No, because my flagpole, if I trade them, my flagpole would have to go with them. And I don't want to have that lost love out there. I want to have...
Like Alex had said before, flagpoles are rather expensive, so we're not trying to just give away a flagpole with another player, you know what I'm saying? So flagpole comes with the player.
Not a waste.
We're keeping it.
Valuable.
Try to hang
Very valuable. These are our three each. Each going to have three players that we consider our fantasy flagpoles for the 2020 redraft season. So without further ado, pull out some scissors, pull out a flagpole if you want, and just slice to that intro real quick.
Yeah.
I said, baby, I am not the one to play with. Ain't the type to give up, I'm driven and motivated. I just want some recognition and some compensation. But this ain't about the money and it ain't about the fame. I got lightning in a bottle, I think I just found my perfect sound. Can you see the fire in my eyes? Bitch, it's burning out. Lightning in a bottle, I think I just found my perfect sound. Can you see the fire in my eyes? Bitch, it's burning out.
We're back. We're cracking. Never lacking. Slacking. Never that. All right. Ignore that shit, okay? We're going to dive into these three each fantasy flagpoles. The first choice fantasy flagpole, that's going to be a trademark one day. Just wait for it. So, I guess we'll just cut right into it. We got, who's going to go first? I guess we'll go alphabetical order. We got Alex here.
Alex.
All right, we're going to go Miles Sanders here, which sounds stupid because, you know, he's getting drafted at the top of the draft, but he should go higher than he is. I've been saying this for weeks now. He's going to get more work than what the consensus is. They're not babysitting him. I think they're going to let him play.
And it's a statement that in our last video, it's a statement that we just took him first round. So
he's worth it.
1-9 before Nick Chubb, before Joe Mixon, and Kenyon Drake.
I'd take him before
Valid.
Nixon. We talked about it the other day.
I was questioning
Drake
it.
is kind of a toss-up. Chubb, I don't even know how to feel about Chubb. Chubb scares me. I like him.
Yeah.
Cleveland's
game. I like Chubb, but just the upside that Sanders has with the receiving game and Boston Scott's the backup. I mean, that's the only thing that kind of like I understand the flagpole. Just plant that like a little harder. You know what I'm saying?
In the receiving game and the rushing game, as you said. Yeah.
100%. Now I don't know about the Eagles this year. That was a team. I don't know if we're gonna do that hot. Honestly, I bet on the Cowboys to win the division. I feel like a traitor for that, but I did it.
Don't say that.
Yeah.
Fine. It's fine.
I did. I already did it. It's already been a done deal. I think I did it last month.
We're gonna have
We'll be there to take your money.
And this is flagpole episode. You're really choosing the poorest time to come out with this information.
Sorry.
Well, I'll make my money back some way because I've been betting a lot lately. Speaking of which, we're gonna be. I don't know if you guys are in greens for it, but the betting. I want to do like a little episode about it, or just like a series, I guess, every week, talking about the matchups and whatnot. So, yeah, I guess we'll move on to Brandon's first choice of a flagpole. Let's hear it.
First choice. Well, my first choice is DJ Moore. That's it. The first choice, DJ Moore. I've got two other great options, flagpole options to bring up first. But DJ Moore, I love his value where he's getting drafted at this point. I mean, we talked about him on the ADP episodes. This was a few weeks back, so check it out. And DJ Moore, I think he's a steal where he's getting drafted. I think he has the ceiling of performing up top 5 receivers. He's got that ceiling in my mind. Now, I'm not going to take him top 5 receiver, obviously, but the value that he's getting drafted at is well far away from top 5. And I know Alex feels the same way, and I believe, Ed, you do too, because of our previous episodes on Mr. Moore. So.
And I think he's a model of consistency, honestly. This man had maybe full games played. He had 2 games under 10 points, which is something of note, obviously. I just think he should be drafted above DK Metcalf, where he's getting drafted at. I think he's definitely going to perform at the top. I think I'm going to have him as top 10 wide receiver this year. Valid wide receiver 1 in the 4th round.
A fact that is going to have to progress is his touchdown rate. He only had 4 touchdowns last season. That's got to progress some.
Possibly.
I don't see it going down. The type of player he is, he's getting 10 to 15 targets a game nearly. I mean, he's got the targets. I mean, he's consistent, and my flagpole is surely implanted within DJ Moore.
The offense as a whole should probably just improve on the touchdown spectrum this year, scoring-wise. I mean, it's not going to be, a top 10 offense by any means, but, I mean, Teddy Bridgewater over Kyle Allen, I think that's definitely going to improve DJ Moore's touchdown positively. Alex, you got anything to say about DJ Moore, or are you going to cut right to the third one?
He's good.
It's great.
He's good. He's amazing. Just progress with that statement. All right. My first choice here is going to be Amari Cooper, who I might catch a lot of flack on from these two because, we're all Eagles fans, but I'm more of a back. I'm faded a little bit. That was not a good use of the word faded, but you know what I mean. I'm not all in on the Eagles. I'm not just watching football for the Philadelphia Eagles. I watch football as a enjoyment of the sport. Now, last year, obviously, Amari Cooper, he had a game with 0 points. This is something that everybody knows about. He struggled in a couple of games. He struggled in the game, I think, against the Detroit Lions, against Slay, played against. He obviously struggled against Stephon Gilmore, like I said, 0 points. He struggled against who else? Not Jalen Ramsey, Marshawn Lattimore. Just the games with, the best-known corners, or just the games in general that have a team that has a top corner in the NFL, which obviously the Eagles have now. This is the reason why I like Amari Cooper, okay? He's going to play more in the slot. That's what the reports are that's coming out, okay? They got rid of Randall Cobb, who was primarily a slot receiver who can't really play on the outside. He's very small. So he couldn't really play outside. So they get CeeDee Lamb. That's 3 receivers that can probably play all over the field, if we're being honest. I mean, I've never seen Michael Gallup really do it all over the field, but I'm sure he could more than Randall Cobb could last year. Say Amari Cooper jumps his slot percentage up from 10%, which was this past year. If it gets up to 20%, like some of these receivers, I think Allen Robinson may have been 18% or something like that. These top receivers, they get a lot of snap percentage in the slots. And seeing Amari Cooper possibly getting that this year with CeeDee Lamb comes in, CeeDee Lamb go to the outside. Throw him on the outside, throw Gallup on the outside. You got Amari Cooper in the slot. That's going to, slot receivers get a lot of targets, obviously. Average depth target might not be that high, but I'm sure Amari Cooper can do something after the catch. But yeah, like I said, he played against those outside corners, say a Marshawn Lattimore, say Jalen Ramsey. He played poorly against those corners. But seeing as he can now play in the slot with another receiver instead of having Randall Cobb just take over in the slot, I think his targets are going to go up. I think those fluky games where he gets 3 points or something like that, I don't think he's going to be as boom bust this year. And yeah, I think he's going to be more consistent than usual, which is something bold to say, I guess you can say, about Amari Cooper, because very volatile, very volatile. But I like him in the, 3rd round? Yeah, 3rd round behind Kenny Galladay, Adam Thielen. I like him a lot more than those players. So I am in love with Amari Cooper, and I'm planting my flagpole on that, man.
I like it.
Cowboys suck.
He likes it. Cowboys suck. That's not wrong, but still bet on them to win the conference or the division. So number 2, I guess, for Alex. We can go on turn and go to Alex real quick for number 2.
Do we really have a second choice on first choice fantasy? I don't
You're
mean
right.
guy.
Well,
The
then I guess we're done.
our next first choice. Roll with it. Let's,
Gonna go
let's
back
go
to
with
the
that.
same
Next
exact
first
well.
choice.
That's the first one. Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Mm-mm-mm.
Mm.
Good. They took him where they took him for a reason. He's gonna get on. Gonna get on the field, especially with Damian Williams out. Like, what's their next best running back? Like Darrell Williams. Get out of here.
I don't even think he's that good. I mean, I think he ran like a 4.7. I know you don't really care about combine scores and whatnot, but that's pretty slow.
A running back has to have a decent 40 time.
Yeah. I mean, Clyde Edwards-Helaire wasn't all that fast either.
Oh, I mean, as long as you're above like 4.6,
Yeah.
you have some decent explosion. I mean, like if you're at like 4.8, no, you're not an NFL running back.
Yeah, that's true. Sure, if you're running 4.8, I don't know how you got to the combine to begin with, honestly. Dak Moss, I think he ran like a 4.65, and people were fucking laughing at him.
He's not fully away, but he can run. So I wouldn't be worried about that. But I'm not worried about Edwards-Helaire either because he's going to get a lot of work and he can play in the passing game, and that's real scenario to me.
The only question marks that I've seen or just heard from other people, obviously, I don't watch tape and all that. I'm not fucking expert at this shit, but Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I've heard that like kind of struggles with pass protection. It's kind of an obvious thing, being 5'8", 210, or where the hell he is, pretty small. So I mean, he's going to struggle with those passing down, like blocking scenarios and whatnot. But I think his upside is definitely astronomical, seeing as it's in the Kansas City offense with Patrick Mahomes. I mean, it's not like it's a Kansas City offense with Alex Smith or something like that. Like, this is the best quarterback in the game right now. You have one of the best play callers in Andy Reid. You have one of the best scenarios. It's a recipe for success. And as a first-round pick, I understand the flagpole. I understand wholeheartedly.
Okay, he'll figure out the pass protection.
Yeah, I believe he should. I mean, I don't think they're just going to take him out, a first-round pick, just take him out and put in DeAndre Washington on passing down. It wouldn't make much sense. But, yeah, I respect it. He also, reports came out that he was working with the starters. That's pretty obvious for us, but something of note, I suppose.
Alrighty.
Moving
Number
on
2, number 2.
to my next first choice is Austin Ekeler. This is someone I have had eyes on for, since like last year. I made a move in one dynasty. It was a move that appeared to be, Ed was calling me out, saying,
I was.
They traded Bell.
Yeah, I believe
remember,
I traded Bell, something of that nature,
I was a fan.
and came out with Austin Ekeler and the first, and it lined me up with Ekeler. And I mean, I know it then, and I know it now. Melvin Gordon is gone. Austin Ekeler just got signed to a 4-year deal. That's big time with the running back, and his time could be over 2 years from now. Now, who knows? But the man, he has skill. He is signed and ready to be used as a weapon. He's not someone who's going to get faded out like a Tariq Cohen. He's got that skill set, and he is going to be used heavily in this offense. I believe it, and I'm marking it down right here, right now, with my words.
He's built like a cannonball, honestly. I mean, have you guys seen the workout videos? I don't know if you have, Alex, but Brandon, have you?
I have.
He's doing like one-handed pull-ups. It's just very pleasing to the eyes. I mean, obviously, it's pleasing on the eyes on the field too. So, yeah, definitely worth another flagpole. I agree with that one. And he's not sure he's like 5'7", 5'8", whatever the hell he is, but he's not one of those smaller backs that are going to get hurt from. He's not getting 300 touches a season. Like, he's not one of those workhorse running backs. Like, in that 4-year contract kind of makes me feel a little bit more like better about his situation, I guess you could say, because he is small. So, I mean, yeah, there's a chance that he just gets pummeled around and whatnot, but he's built like a cannonball, like I said. So that mixed with the fact that he's not getting used as like a Leonard Fournette with like 30 carries a game, just bonkers shit. I mean, I think his longevity's there for sure. So I respect it. All right. I guess I'll just dive into my second one here. My second one my second fantasy flagpole for the 2020 redraft season. It's gonna have to be Ronald Jones. There's a little bit of questionable flagpolishness for me. Shout out to Poland though, but very questionable for me. I was thinking about going to running back here, and I didn't know where to go. And I like Ronald Jones. I think last offseason I liked him a lot. Nobody really liked him like I did, and I was called out a good bit for it. But looking at last year, I mean, he had a few plays, and people didn't like it that much. That he did have a few highlight plays, and he looked good on those plays. And it's like, oh no, but this is the reason why he sucked. And it's like people are always, trying to find that reason why this player stinks because they had a bad rookie season, which you can blame him for it. But I mean, he's only 22, fresh out of college. I mean, there's some players don't really come into the NFL and just like strike it by storm. You know what I'm saying? So Ronald Jones is probably that player. He was top 24 last year in juke rate, which is evaded tackles per attempt. He broke a run of 15 yards or more on 4.7% of his runs, which was 17th in the entire NFL. So what I get from Ronald Jones is a player who is a home run hitter. Sometimes when he gets those carries, he's not gonna bust it. Like he's gonna get like 3 yards. It's gonna be like, oh shit, that was terrible. But then some plays he's gonna get like 20 yards. He's not like a Gus Edwards where it's 5 yards every single play or something like that. Like he gets a few carries that are pretty piss poor, and he's gonna break one out. Like it's very volatile in my eyes, but I like that from an RB2, RB3. I mean, probably an RB3 realistically, getting drafted in the 6th round or something like that. And they came out. Bruce Arians came out and said that he is the man or whatever. Tom Brady's working with him on his passing or receiving technique and whatnot, trying to step up his pass blocking, gain more weight and whatnot. So I just think there's a lot of things adding up for him to have a decent year this year. And I think it's better than his late 6th round, early 7th round draft capital. I'm playing my flagpole on that, man.
He's a late round running back I've shown interest in. Where he's getting drafted at, I think his potential is higher. So
yeah,
perform, I mean, above guys getting drafted in rounds, I don't know, 4, 5, so like a few round gap. I'd say
he's getting drafted behind Raheem Mostert by 2 rounds. Behind Mark Ingram by 2.5 rounds. Devin Singletary, even like I like Ronald Jones more than I like Devin Singletary, which I mean situationally might not make sense, but I just like the talent better. Players like Marlon Mack are getting drafted before him, who is obviously splitting the workload with Jonathan Taylor and might even be faded out. I'd still take Ronald Jones over him.
Yeah. So that's in
Tough. All right. Moving on to the third choice flagpole with Alex over there. Let's hear it.
Go with Hayden Hurst. Talked about him a lot. But opportunity, great hands. He can run after the catch a little bit. I think this will be when you see him prove why he was first round. The Falcons like to throw the ball as much as any team in the league does, and I think he will definitely step right into a lot of those targets that Hooper got. So yeah, no, I'm not backing off this one. He's going to need at least 6 straight zeros before I call it here. Maybe 7.
He said maybe 7. I respect it. That's dedication. That's a flagpole and a half, if I say so myself.
Definitely relative to me.
Yeah.
If I could plant like a mini flagpole, I'd probably do it with Hayden Harris. Probably with every single player we talked about so far, honestly. Definitely mini flagpoles right next to it. But, yeah, I don't really have anything to say about Hayden Harris.
I like Hurst.
Talked about him a lot, honestly.
Yeah, especially in recent episodes, NFC conference rankings.
Yeah.
Check that video out.
I'll say, click on that video.
On those episodes in depth, Robert Woods, my third flagpole. Put down Robert Woods, ceiling. High ceiling. This is Robert Woods we're talking about. Only had two touchdowns last year. What was that? He was struggling beginning of the year. He had a few good games here and there. towards the end of the season, that's when he kind of blossomed and became the consistent scorer he used to be known as. A lot of analysts were kind of fading on him at one point, I remember, getting worried about his usage, but that clearly, ever since week 12, he received no less than 9 targets a game. And actually, ever since the bye week, other than week 11, he possibly was hurt. I don't see the stats, but that's all blanks. He was probably hurt. But ever since the bye week, no less than 9 targets. And the man only scored 2 touchdowns on the year. That's going to possibly go up. And I think the targets will stay consistent because the offense they started running last season is an offense I don't see them shying away from because it was working. And they just got rid of Todd Gurley. They're shifting away from what they used to be. And I think they're focusing on their wide receivers they've got. Because they're only going to be there for so long.
I agree. I mean, Robert Woods in 2018 with the Rams, who finished as a top 12 wide receiver. I didn't know that. I'm looking at it now. The years 2018, 2019 seasons look pretty much similar, besides the fact that Robert Woods missed a game in 2019 and also got 9 more targets and 4 more receptions, but 4 less touchdowns, which is obviously something notable because that's, 24 points right there. You add to him, he could possibly be a top 12 wide receiver on last year's stats. There's like this thing going around that people are saying, like, what if Sean McVay just ran the 2 tight end sets a lot more last year because he didn't want to get Cooper Kupp hurt again because he knew they were out of the playoffs. So, like, while that could be a logically sound thing that he could do, but they traded away Brandon Cooks for a reason. I mean, they're not going to play Van Jefferson. I hope they don't plan on playing Van Jefferson a lot. I mean, that would be a questionable decision for them. But I see their 2 tight end usage like they had the second half of the year constantly, keeping constant. And Robert Woods definitely going to get more touchdowns, probably same amount of targets. Another top 15 wide receiver year from him. It hurts me to say that because I just traded him away in Dynasty, but he is 28 years old, so I mean, the chance he does fall off. But yeah. I understand Flagpole. I'm with it. And I guess final choice Flagpole right here. I'm going to go Calvin Ridley. So Alex talked about Hayden Harris, and he's going to get targets because the Falcons pass a lot. The Falcons do pass a lot, in case nobody knew this. I mean, Calvin Ridley's getting drafted behind people like DK Metcalf, Juju Smith-Schuster. Well, I'm not saying they're not talented. They're not going to get the volume that Calvin Ridley's going to get. And after the Falcons did trade away Mohamed Sanu last year, Calvin Ridley got targets consistently, got snaps consistently. Like, he never had a game besides the game he got injured in which he had less than 80% snap share. Before the season, the beginning of the season, he had 6 games below 80% snap share, 6 of the 8 games that he was in, which is something of note. I mean, if you're out there on the field, you're getting snaps, you're probably going to get targets, especially if you're good. Calvin Ridley's good. So he's pretty consistent, believe it or not. When he did get those snaps in the second half of the season, I believe I don't know. I just see him doing well this year. 4th-round pick, not bad. I'll take it all day. That's my flagpole, my 3rd flagpole. The Falcons' offense, a lot of flagpoles today. 9 flagpoles.
9 to be exact. 9 players for all y'all to keep in mind when you're drafting. See any one of these guys fall?
Brandon, you said you
pick them.
Did you say you had any honorable flagpole mentions?
Honorable flagpole mentions. Tyler Boyd's a good one.
Tyler Boyd is a good one.
See, players like Boyd, my only reason for not picking a guy like Boyd is because, like, although I think he'll stay consistent, I don't know if he's got a high ceiling, but maybe that's why he wasn't your flagpole.
High ceiling.
I think Brian Edwards is one for me, at least.
So Boyd doesn't have the high ceiling.
And that's why I didn't pick him. I didn't want to pick him. That's why I didn't pick him. And he's a guy I kind of really wanted to, but I mean, like I said. But, yeah. And how about you? honorable flagpole mentions?
No.
I'm gonna go Alvin Kamara, but that's kind of a cop out to me. It's a top 4 pick right there. But outside of that, I guess I'll give an honorable flagpole mention to my man Deebo Samuel, who I just acquired in Dynasty. Who last year, towards the end of the year, I mean, he was used a lot, and obviously with starting off on the pup, probably missing a few games. They came out and signed Tavon Austin, J.J. Nelson, which aren't really names. They are just names. That's what they are. So I think Deebo Samuel's pretty good. I mean, he's probably going to slide in a lot of like your average draft type of thing. He's probably going to slide in like the 10th round. And if he's falling like the 10th round, something like that, maybe even 9th, I might just snag him up because the players in that range are like John Brown, late 10th, maybe 11th. I stand corrected. The 9th round is still pretty good with wide receivers. But I like Deebo Samuel's talent, the way he's used. I mean, seen in the fact that the season last year, and I think should be good. It's him and Terry McLaurin for me. Those are 2 people I stand by for this year if Deebo plays. But yeah. All right. Well, moment of silence for the ones that made it through the video.
And for
It's probably
the
everybody.
players that didn't make our flagpoles, because they're probably disappointed.
Yeah, they see first choice flagpoles like, oh, fuck, man.
But the world didn't even get in that.
All right. Well, I guess we'll just pull flagpole out and stamp this as our flagpole video. So, like, comment, subscribe, bell notification. Love us. We love you. First choice fantasy flagpoles out. Deuces.